So it's obvious summer vacations are in full swing. All right, let's see. Jordan, are you with us?
Yes, hello, can you hear me?
Hi, I don't think I've ever met you. I'm Lisa. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I actually, I just joined Bucks County Elder Law back in March, and I was at the retreat in Charlotte in May. So, Henry just wanted me to join in this. We're thinking about, we're still, considering Guidr. We haven't really, obviously implemented it yet, but we're just in the thought process of it. So he wanted me to join in, just just to listen, just to see if I can get any other additional info on it.
Okay, great. No, thanks for joining us. Now, how is Henry and Marie doing? And are they loving life with their grandbaby?
Of course they are. Yeah, they are doing great. Henry's actually under the weather today. I think he was gonna join this, but he's not feeling well.
Okay.
So that's why, yeah, he just having me join in.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Well, thank you for joining us. And this is the place to come to answer and ask a bunch of questions. And as you can see, we have Dinesh Chawla with us, who we like to call our Guidr law firm leader. He is rocking and rolling everything Guidr, and has brought a ton of insight and ideas to the table. And we also have Bethany Mackey with us. She's our director of customer engagement. And Tom, hi Tom, I see you're connecting to audio, and I see a great picture of you. I don't know if you're with us right now or not, but typically we have a huge crowd. And like I said, I think that it's because summer vacations are in full swing. I know some of our team members are actually traveling right now. They're on the way to the Kentucky Mid-South Midwest elder law trade show or something like that. I don't know. So we got that. But I guess the floor is just, it's time for idea sharing right now. We do have a couple of announcements with regards to the platform that we'll just kick off with immediately. Is we are up to 36 states, Bethany, that's correct? 36 states, with 2 more in the wings of being published within the next week or two, which is really exciting. And Jordan, I completely apologize. Can you remind me what state you're in?
We are in Pennsylvania, but we also practice in New Jersey.
You're somewhere close to me.
Yes.
Okay, so the good news is that Guidr is absolutely available in Pennsylvania and in New Jersey right now. Perfect. So all of your documents are good to go. So if you're ready to pull that trigger, awesome.
So Jordan, can I ask a question, Lisa?
Of course.
Yeah, since we have a smaller audience, not to put you on the spot, Jordan, but we got to hang out at PWP, so I feel like we're all friends. So when you said you guys were sort of thinking about it and sort of talking about it right now, what are some of the things that you guys are kind of thinking about, questions that we could help answer, kind of things that have come up that maybe kind of roadblocks for you, or things that you're worried about? What's been going on?
I guess the first thing, I guess that the biggest thing is there a market for it around this area? That would be our first concern. I guess the other thing would be, what exactly, how much time is it going to take out of out of the lawyer's time, as opposed to us, doing the documents actually, ourselves. So is it going to be financially worth it, and, worth it in terms of the time that we're going to spend anyway? Those are really the big things.
I am actually going to go ahead and say, Dinesh, would you like to answer those questions?
Right away.
And Dinesh, totally committed because he's in the car. So thank you.
I'm actually at my next location. To answer your question, the reason I was looking down for the last, 3 minutes that we've been on and you've been talking, I was responding to the workflow from Guidr that came in at 9:59. I sent a quick email saying, hey, you just got a healthcare power of attorney through Chawla Legal and Guidr. This is who your original or your initial agent's going to be. This is who your backup's going to be. Is this what you wanted? I'm eagerly waiting your confirmation. As soon as she confirms, I'll hit the engagement agreement acceptance button, and I just made $79 in the last 3 minutes. So there's the answer to your question.
All right, that's a good answer. Good answer.
All right.
So definitely you have to be in the mindset to make it work within your law firm for time efficiencies. I can speak to understanding some of the things with the lab, and I know Dinesh and Tom, you could probably speak to as your team as well. As it's not strictly all falling on the lawyer's shoulders. You have a team of paralegals. You can set up an internal process. The best practices guides gives you a suggestion for operations and to make it efficient and to make it worth your while.
The other thing, so kind of as you're talking about marketing and kind of where it might make sense for you folks, I know, and I don't know if you've been on other calls or heard some of the podcasts, but for EPLC, which is our lab in upstate New York, which is, I imagine, a pretty similar area where you are, Jordan. They've been working with their local fire departments. So they've been doing workshops. I think they've gotten in front of 400 new people that they wouldn't have had the opportunity to be in front of before, just by kind of calling and having this option that they can literally send their firefighters through digitally. So they don't necessarily have to spend as much as they may have in a traditional planning environment. So not only did it open the door for them to get in there and talk to those folks, it did open the door for traditional plans too, right? So not only were they able to talk to the folks who really are the target market for Guidr, the younger families, the families who are just starting out. I mean, in that case, firefighters who risk their lives for their community on a daily basis. But also, oh, you should talk to my mom, and oh, I absolutely need you to talk to my Aunt Ethel or Susie or whoever, because, the workshop talks about the essential documents, but it also talks about estate planning from a slightly, broader perspective as well. So it does open that door in ways that I don't think we necessarily expected initially. That, I think if their initial first meeting, Lisa, was with a smaller company and they ended up having more clients that went through the whole process than I think they did through Guidr, but I think it's a really great tool to be able to leverage to open some of those doors that you may not have had the opportunity to before.
And I think, Jordan, one of the questions you said, is there a market for it? So Dinesh or Tom, would either of you like to provide your insight or your thought process?
I'm pointing down to Dinesh. He's below me.
Oh.
In the matrix, he's below me. I'm not fully active yet, but people are excited about it. People keep asking me, when is that thing you talked about going to be ready?
Right.
So,
you brought it to the radio. You brought it to, and we shared it on the listserv too. You did great, Tom.
Yeah, that was, well, thank you. He asked me about 10 million different things. I'm just glad I was ready with that answer when he finally got around to that. We talked about gun control and the Constitution, and we talked about everything. So I'm glad I was ready for that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Dinesh, is there a market for this?
Yes. I had a financial advisor meeting with one of my financial advisor friends last Wednesday. It was last Wednesday. He has, of course, the lawn guys in the parking lot that I'm in come right next to my car with their blower. Thanks, guys. He was saying that he doesn't know how to connect with this next generation. He has 3 generations of wealth right now in a lot of the families that he's managing their assets for. And he's having difficulties connecting with this newer generation. They don't want to come into the office. They don't really want to sit in front of him or sit down at a restaurant and talk to him. Everything has to be either go, go, go. I'll send you a text me right back. Show me where to find this information. I'll do it myself. So when I presented him with this, his first response was, I've got one attorney that I work with right now. I now have 2. He's like, I'm sending all of my younger generation to you because you'll be able to connect with them and speak their language. I'm not that young. So I'm glad that this is, I'm okay, fine. I'm not that young for this earth. I mean, I'm not that young compared to my kids. Maybe I'm young for the earth, but they make me feel old, but sometimes talking to the next generation does make me feel old. They know a lot more than we do. So as things like this, as opportunities come up like this that offer us another way to offer our services, I don't know why we would delay on that. I was talking to another guy who he works for Emeritus. They're a 401k wholesaler, and so all of his clients are financial advisors. And one of the things he was saying was that field is starting to become saturated. There's a lot of people across the board, of starting from your more experienced older people who are starting to retire as financial advisors, all the way down to kids coming out of college. He said he's got to work with a lot of different people from a lot of different generations. So his new thing is asking people, metaphorically, of course, how do you like your steak? So do you want to go a traditional route? You want us to hold your hand? You want us to come in the office? Great, we can do that for you. You want to do it all on yourself? Well, great, we're still here to review it for you. So yeah, if you want to eat a raw steak, we'll sear it a little bit for you and then hand it over. So that analogy I really liked, because I like steak and eating it, and it just clicked with me. If you've got a lot of people coming in, or the potential to have a lot of people coming in, and we are providing legal services, if there's a tool offering you a way to better hit all of those market and provide your services, I don't know why we would sit there and think about it. Like, I just made $79 in 3 minutes. Yeah. It doesn't happen every 3 minutes, but it's a nice 3 minutes when it happens.
A better question would be, do you have millennials in your market? Not is there a market, but are there millennials in your market? If you're living in Sun City, Florida, maybe this won't work for you. But that's like the only place, and only then if you are the only guy in Sun City doing this and you don't have any outside clients. That's the only people.
That's a great flip, but there's also another flip on that. Even if you do have elderly clients in your market and they're dominating that market, then you can pop in and say, hey, don't want to do this on your own? Have your kids use Guidr to help you out. Get the family engaged.
I like that. That's the I believe Guy or Tom was saying that have your financial advisor sit down with their younger clients or older clients who want to do it themselves and go through, have them be the sort of the expert. You're just bringing more people into the action and cementing that relationship between the advisor. The more you emphasize, your relationship will only get better because of this, the more it's going to work.
Yeah, I mean, Tom and Dinesh, I'd be open to hear once you get the financial advisors utilizing the platform to see how their feedback is, and how if it's one-stop shop for them, if it's giving them that convenience of getting everything done while sitting in their office for their client. I'd just be very curious to see how that pans out. So if you are able to make any of those connections and follow up at the end of August, that would be awesome on that.
Can I add something as well? Just from I'll come at it from a slightly different angle, because I'm the resident geek, right? So I'm
You're just one of the geeks.
One of the geeks. And you know, the reason Dave and I got chatting was that Dave's had had an idea for a few years actually, which he tried to implement. It hadn't quite come off previously, where he could see the market changing slightly, and he could see things like, you know, I'm going to swear on the call now, LegalZoom come in and begin to eat away into some of the opportunities that you guys would normally get. You know, they've had 5 million customers now. That's the boast they're making. And, you know, they produce these non-legal documents that, you know, have not had the benefit of their local lawyer making sure that they're correct before they're needed or they're used, because that's the only time these guys will ever find out when there is an issue. So, you know, Dave came to me and said, can we do this? LWP's always, they've prided themselves on LWP being at the forefront of, what's going on in the legal world. And this was the next iteration. And here's the reality. The reality is that there is going to be a ton of changes over the next sort of 10 years. People's expectations are increasingly changing. And that's speeding up. It's not slowing down. It's only going to get faster. They reckon over the next 10 years, there's going to be more changed due to technology than in the last 50 to 100 years. It's kind of, this kind of situation is only going to increase. If you think back to Facebook when it first came out, it was the kids that used to use Facebook. Then people slightly older, their mums and dads went onto Facebook. The kids left Facebook, went to Snapchat, went to Insta, and then the grandparents are now on Facebook. And even the oldies, I'm included in that. Even the oldies change the way that they use technology really quickly. So, to your question before, Jordan, my belief, and hopefully you've heard from Dinesh and Tom, is that the market is already there. It's a new opportunity, actually. It's the kids that you perhaps wouldn't ordinarily speak to. If you can engage with them in the way that they consume content on Instagram and on Facebook, Snapchat and some of the, TikTok maybe, and those kind of advertising platforms, then they'd be interested in talking to you in some instances. So it's a new market, but actually I think it'll be a market that only increases while the in-person market carries on decreasing. That's going to be the reality of the situation. It'll take time, but it won't take that long. You're probably talking between 5 and 10 years, and everything will be done online, in my view. For this type of product.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jordan, and for everyone else that's listening, this recording will be up on the website, so you can absolutely share all of this with Henry and Marie as well, Jordan. So the other question that you had asked is it financially worth it? So in addition to Dinesh making $79 in 3 minutes, we highly recommend that you make it financially worth it for you, right? So as any business, you want to set your monthly goals. How many of these plans do you want to do? What you have the ability to customize the price point for each of the documents within your personal platform. So you determine the price point, you determine how many you want to close per month. You set it up as your goals, as you would with any other, if you have workshop goals and probate goals, whatever the goals may be, you just now have a Guidr goal, and you have to pay attention to it. You have to look at your overall marketing plan and figure out, where does the messaging fit into my overall picture? It's not a separate thing, it's an and. So you embrace it, you believe in it, you see a market for it. What are your goals, your financial goals, and what are you going to do to achieve those goals? You're not just going to throw it up on your website and say, somebody will find it and just do it. No, it has to be part of your process, part of your business now. Some of our clients or some of our members are heavy retail. It doesn't mean that they're going out with 2 different retail messages. It's, okay, let's take 20% of our messaging and talk about Guidr. So 80% is still staying true to the roots of my law firm, and this is who I am. And then 20% you're slowly introducing Guidr. You have some members that are focusing on the digital platform, and they're going after that different type of target audience, very specific. So right now, it's been a huge topic of discussion is the college campaign. We're going after parents of college age students and the admissions department at the colleges for back to school weekend or parents weekend where they're vendoring. So it's really about the creativity that you bring to the table in order for you to achieve those goals. So what Bethany was saying with the fire department, we had an and it was quick lunch and learn. We know that these people like food. We want to get in and out in an hour. We simplified a presentation. We gave them a special promo code. There's a follow-up process internally and marketing to support it. And are all 400 knocking at the door? No, but we got a good majority of people that have started the process. And there's a majority of people that didn't want the online portion and did the red carpet choice and walk through the doors. So I'd say, yeah, it's kind of worth it. So to answer your 3 questions, time, market for it, financially worth it, I think that we've absolutely discussed those 3 topics. So any questions before we move on, Jordan?
No, I think that's good. I'm just here
Awesome.
to listen and learn.
Awesome, cool. So I just want to acknowledge that we have a few more people who had joined us. So Kara Hernandez, hi, you're new. Welcome to the Guidr Roundtable. Tim Murray, hello. And Anita, hello. So none of you are on camera, but I didn't know, Carla, if you'd like to introduce yourself and let us know what brought you to the Ask Guidr Roundtable and if you have any questions you'd like answered today.
Hi, good morning. Yes, I'm Kara Hernandez. I'm in Houston, Texas, and I am an estate planning attorney. I had spoken with somebody from Guidr a while back and just kind of looking at some marketing and some different things to think about for the fall. So I just kind of wanted to sit in and listen and see what you guys are talking about. So thanks for having me today.
Oh, absolutely. So Texas is one of our states that is actively live, correct, Bethany? She's my go-to girl. So we are live with that state. And you said you're looking for stuff for the fall. Are you working on revamping your business plan? Just looking for another revenue lines? Are you understanding that the industry is moving towards technology, the digitization of law?
Yes, all of that. And just wanting to make sure. So one of my things is that it doesn't have to be me who does somebody's plan, but I'm really passionate about people getting a plan. And so if this is a way that I could get more people, covered and protected, then I want to know about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So you joined a little bit later on in this from when we started, and this recording will be up on our YouTube channel. And we have Dinesh with us. He is one of our member attorneys who has really embraced Guidr and has implemented it within his firm. Dinesh, any words, even if it's repetitive from the crew that was here to start off with, but I think you could probably relate to Kara a little bit with what her questions were.
Yeah, so going back to one of the things you said kind of stuck out to me, that you're passionate about making sure everybody has a plan, even if it's not from you. With Guidr, you can make it what you want it to be. It can either be a standalone thing, it can be your whole practice, it can be an add-on. Just use your imagination. I was finishing up setting a client communication through Guidr right when this call started. It took 3 minutes to do. I reviewed all of her information that she sent in for her healthcare power of attorney. I sent her an email saying, hey, you just got a power of attorney through Guidr. Here's what will happen if you become incapacitated. Here's who your agent is, your initial agent, and here's who the successor is. Is this what you're anticipating getting? If so, please send a confirmation email and I'll accept the engagement. So it's a very simple tool to add on. You can see everything that they're doing. And to me, it's a great introduction to a relationship, because now I have all of their information. They're going to be getting our newsletters. They're going to be getting all of our touches that any other client would get, whether they walk in through the office door and we hold their hand through the entire process, or if they go through Guidr. Every client gets treated the same way in terms of follow-up and nurturing, I guess, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah,
Kara,
that's awesome.
yeah, and the other thing is that with Guidr, you're connected to the Guidr community. So we have, just as a side note, we have marketing toolkit applications for you. We've launched a couple specific campaigns for the Guidr platform, specifically for college-aged adults and for those that just haven't had a new baby. And we have access to the listserv. So if you have questions or you want to post a win or something, share something, like Tom Olafson did a local radio show and was talking about Guidr and how it was coming to his community soon. And he shared it with us and we got his permission and shared it to the listserv so everybody can see it. just to show the power of the community. It's not just something that you're purchasing and you put into your website, but you're actually part of a great community that shares ideas and answers questions and so on and so forth. So I did want to share that we do actually have a gentleman by the name of Richard Sakota who lives in Hawaii. And he was one of our very, very first Guidr members. And of course, with the huge time difference there, he went to our listserv last night and made an amazing post. And I don't have it in front of me, but Bethany does. And I was just wondering if either A, you could do a share screen, or B, just read what he posted, because it just shows the power of digitization of law and how you can really get a community behind you. So Bethany?
I'm happy to share my screen. I feel like, I mean, I can read to some of it, but I feel like this might be better here. So I think his key takeaway is how kind of the newspapers and the advertisers there were excited about the opportunity to even talk about Guidr, because it's not something that they have there. So I thought it was really interesting that even the advertisers that he was going to speak with, right? So, I mean, those are people who have a bunch of people coming to them to advertise a variety of offers and services. And even those folks seemed excited about the potential for this product and excited about what it could do. And I also want to kind of highlight one more thing here. Not only was Richard able to kind of highlight, hey, there's this really cool thing that I'm doing and I'm excited about, but he was also able to come to the community with some questions like, hey, I have some questions. How do you guys want to handle it? And Dinesh, thank you so much for kind of being that support and jumping in and being able to provide a really great response as well. So I think that's important, is also kind of the community that we have here. So, you know, the EPLC team was able to share kind of their marketing and their strategy and going and talking to some of the fire departments. With that, they were able to create a PowerPoint and we were able to share that with the rest of the community. And I think that that's really key, because what we're doing, I think we want others to be able to do that where they are, and we want to be able to spread this, because Kara, to your point, everyone does need a plan, right? So people don't necessarily realize that until it's too late. And I also would like everyone to just have a plan, and whether that comes from us, it's really critical. Anyone who's lived through experiences in our life where those plans weren't in place, it is really detrimental. And even though this is just the start of that plan, I think it's really critical, especially when you have young families who are just starting now.
Yeah, no, this is great. And I just wanted to highlight, so like I said, Richard was one of our very first Guidr members, and he did not invest a lot of advertising dollars, but he absolutely had a marketing plan, and he went into the toolkit and he used the stuff that was at his fingertips. And I think there was a line that says, no other law firm in Hawaii is adapting to the rapidly changing legal profession. Accordingly, I view this as an excellent opportunity to create a unique marketing niche in Hawaii, and that's exactly what he's doing. So talk about the right mindset. Like I said, he was one of the very early on. I think he asked Guy about stock. So, but just wanted to show everybody and share the power of community and questions as well. Tim or Anita, is there anything you'd like to chime in on? If you had any additional questions that you'd like answered during our session today?
I just jumped in between appointments. I was just hoping to pick up. In fact, I'm about 2 minutes late for an appointment right now.
Oh, no.
In fact, I'm just hearing a knock at my door for it to go. So I just jumped in, but I wanted to say that I've been taking, maybe say lazy, but a more passive approach, and just been doing some social media advertising. And I'm in a real rural area, and my county, I remember Dave saying one time a couple roundtables ago that there's like 250,000 people in the county that, you know, and then he was boiling the numbers down to 3 Guidr clients a day. I mean, I have 12,000 people in my county. And so the numbers are different. I guess I'm not getting the response from social media that I think everyone else enjoys, but I think it's just my demographic. And But I like to jump in when I can and pick up tips, and I'm solving some internal office problems that I have, and I think I'm about to jump in and do some more aggressive marketing with everything, and like maybe the RMS approach more and things like that, now that I'm going to have some time to do that. So,
Yeah.
but I just wanted to throw something in there. I gotta get off of here pretty quick.
Yeah. Tim, really quick, just remember, you have the whole entire state where you can advertise Guidr.
Sure.
You're not just limited to your community if you choose not to be.
No, and that's where my brain's going with all this. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, you got that full state. So, well, thank you for staying an extra 3 minutes past your departure time. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
All right, cool. Okay. I don't know, Anita. Oh, Anita, you're off mute. Hi.
Hi, I just wanted to say I've been sitting in on these. I'm kind of, I think it was Kara that said, I'm planning on introducing that to my practice maybe in the early fall. So I just want to hear what everyone's doing and what the experiences are. But everyone I've talked to so far is excited about it. I'm getting those calls. When's that going to be live? When's that going to be available? And it's my son's generations, the 30 somethings that are interested in it. And then a couple of, their parents now want to look at it as well. So I'm excited about it.
That's great. And what state are you in?
I'm in Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay, great.
Well, I happen to be in the rural eastern part. So I have some hesitation there, but I plan on doing, being available statewide.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you can get creative. I mean, we actually have one member attorney that their son is a doctor and absolutely believes that everyone should have the basic documents. So they went into the Guidr toolkit and they grabbed the standard brochure that's in there. I don't know if you can see it. There's a brochure that's in the toolkit and you can customize it on the back end of it. And they gave their son a unique promo code so they could track how many plans were pumped through the system from his efforts within his practice. So if you find that you have a certain person that really believes in Guidr, give them their own promo code and see how they can do for you.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I like the college bound things. I've been marketing toward the newborns and the high school graduates for a while. So I want to see that material. I'm interested in that too.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where we always want feedback. So the college and the new baby campaigns came from feedback from our members. Tell us what you want. We came out with the basics, the branding of this is who we are and this is what we do. Now let's find our niche audiences and go to them. So absolutely. I mean, we can even do a firefighter campaign or something like that, just talk to those specific target audiences. But the other thing is some of our member law firms have also assigned promo codes to every single team member. So if they're out in conversation and they think that it's something that they hand them the business card because they got Guidr on the back of their business card and they say, here's your special promo code. Here's my discount, 10% off, 20% off, whatever it may be. It's just that creativity level that you can bring it to the table. So
cool.
Yeah, pass it along to your son. And if there's additional people that are cheerleaders for this, know that they can have their own special promo code.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So. Okay, I think with regards to the tech side of things with the product, Bethany, I know that we are cruising along. Last month, we had discussed adding a feature within the platform where the healthcare proxy and power of attorney is together as an option. And that is something that is in development and we're expecting it to be launched relatively soon. So now they can end users can select individual features, the healthcare proxy, power of attorney feature, or the essentials package, which is all three. So that feature is going to be coming out soon. And once it is, we'll make an announcement on the listserv.
And Lisa, to that point, that came from some feedback from folks, right? So as we're sending folks to college and we're, Dinesh, I know you had for the realtors, right? Being able to choose maybe not everything, but some, it came from kind of our audience of saying, hey, it would be nice if we could just have a power of attorney and healthcare proxy option, especially for the younger folks who maybe don't quite have a need for the will yet, right? So if you're really targeting that college bound audience, wanting to make sure that those things are established for them, wanting to make sure their parents are, still in that position to be able to take care of their healthcare needs and those things as they move forward, but they don't necessarily need a will yet. So that feature was actually requested for, and we're going to be able to implement that shortly. So, we do try to be responsive. We can't fix everything. We can't change everything. Some things are going to be the platform, the way the platform is because it needs to be that way. But we do try to make sure if there are updates and changes, we're trying to be responsive and listen to those things as they come up. Yep. Our most recent states. So Tom, I know I sent you a message when Illinois went live so that you knew you were ready to go. But we also have Massachusetts. And very recently, what
Wisconsin?
No, not yet. I'm blanking on what guide came out last week. Georgia. Sorry. Don't know why Georgia disappeared, but so Massachusetts and Georgia are the last two, and then Illinois was before that. So we're trying to make sure we're in all 50 states, and the development team is really doing an amazing job at moving all of those things through the process, as well as trying to adapt and kind of make changes for some other things as we continue to improve the product.
Yeah, and I'm just going to tap on that. So Bethany said getting to the 50 states. So another feedback that we've gotten through the years or through the months is, what's Guidr doing at a national level? We'll start. Step one was to get into the 50 states, and we need to have an attorney in each of those states. So we have some other conversations that are brewing with synergistic partners, but before we can continue to move forward with those conversations, we need to have an attorney in every single state. So with that being said, if you have fellow attorneys that are from law school or whatever that are maybe in a different state and you think it would be beneficial, all hands on deck to help get an attorney in every single state. It would be appreciated. Encourage them to come to these roundtables and get in on the discussion. And we're almost there. We are almost there. We're hitting the 50 mark. We are expecting to be, by November at least, Bethany? Or am I being aggressive on that?
So
I think sooner than that. I think
sooner than that.
We are on average one a week at the moment. Worst case scenario, three states a month. And I think we're sat at around about 37. So we, probably certainly in the next 4 months, maybe slightly less.
So it looks like, according to our estimate, now it's an estimate, but October is looking like that will be where we're at.
Awesome.
So to Guy's point of the 4 months, but again, I never like to commit anything 100%. I have worked in technology a long time. And there are always some snafus or things you don't expect, or curveballs that get thrown at us. So don't necessarily quote us 100%, but the team is doing an awesome job and doing a lot of work to meet that goal. So.
I think the other thing that's worth mentioning is that we've got a technology roadmap now. Just going to Bethany's point, I don't want to speak about that. The individual features, exactly when they're going to come out and so on, because we're still scoping some of them out. But what the aim is with some of these features is to drive traffic into the system. So in other words, drive end consumers into the system by forming partnerships with organizations that aren't law firms that then refer some of their clients to Guidr. Now, what will happen then is that will generate effectively free leads for you guys. So there's a number of different initiatives we've got planned over the next few months. Hopefully we'll have all of the ones I've got in my head at the moment. We'll have all of those done by Christmas, and that will definitely drive traffic into the system. People will put the postcode in, and essentially the nearest, well, you know how it works. You put your postcode in to the generic page, and it will pick out the top, is it 6 or 8 law firms that are nearest to that particular client, and the client can then just pick whichever law firm that is the easiest for them to use or whatever. So, you know, that is certainly an aim. We want to drive business to you guys as well as you doing your own marketing. Don't rely on it, but certainly it will be a Billy bonus, I think, if we manage to do that. I'm confident we will. And I'm confident that will, as Guidr develops, that will become increasingly more prevalent.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And this is huge because as a reminder, there's no other online legal document platform like Guidr. There's no other is backed by a local attorney. Some will say it was built by attorneys, but they're not backed by attorneys. So that's really exciting, and it gives us such a huge differentiator within the marketplace. So very excited about all of this. Okay, so we have 17 minutes to go, actually 16 now. Just want to put it out there. If there's any other questions, let's keep talking. If not, then I will gladly give everyone 15 minutes back in their day, because I'm sure you could use the time. So thank you for joining us. And Dinesh, Tom, Jordan, Anita, Kara, thank you so much for the conversation. Anybody have questions or comments before we sign off? All right, I think we are good to go. So Guy and Bethany, thank you so much for joining us today. And everyone have a wonderful rest of the week. And we will let you know when this recording is up on the internet.
And Dinesh, thank you for all your kind of answering questions and picking things up.
No worries.
We appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Jordan. Take care.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody.